Hello, myself Sunil R and until now, basically, we discussed lots of topics. Basically, in this basically topic, we discussed that rich person. Then we discussed HIV/AIDS person. Then we discussed digital world. Then we discussed body parts and city creation. Then we discussed Bollywood and sports. Then we discussed positive and negative energy. Then we discussed why people basically watching cricket. That topic basically we discussed. Then we discussed requirement of the World Bank person. Basically, in this requirement, basically we mostly collected more than hundreds of projects basically for the World Bank person. Then we discussed the news channel basically up to what level information they have. Then we discussed the all colleges, Harvard groups basically, other and big colleges. What are they about political groups and election groups? Then we discussed the union of the software company. Then we discussed BSE stock exchange. Then we discussed future plans, how basically are decided. Then basically we are discussing here basically what actually the Earth planet basically till now basically has created. In this basically we have discussed lots of things basically. So and basically in this we discussed that what actually the global warming is, how basically we are going to solve the global warming. That also basically we little bit basically we have discussed. And basically Bollywood group basically are created. Bollywood group basically is a Bollywood person basically who are basically the owner of the Bollywood basically. He basically says that we are basically tracking each and every problems of the world basically and of the each and every India country basically, each and every city of the India's basically. And then basically we are created trying to solve the basically issue basically, because we can only basically for example we can basically only basically able to solve the, we can basically give just solution basically, right? We can't able to solve the problem basically. We basically can't solve the problem basically, right? We can give just the solution basically, nothing else. So solution basically only basically we can give that basically do this type of thing basically, and according to that basically things is working, then it's okay basically, otherwise basically it's unsuccess. Like this basically things are basically there basically. So in this basically we discussed lots of things basically. Then we discussed A character, B character, E character, D character, C character, F character. This all basically contains more than 100 crores of planets basically. More than 100 crores of planet basically are there. Then we discussed that each and every word also basically might be having some planets. Then we discussed that each and every character basically might be containing set of symbols basically also. That symbols basically might be containing lots of languages also basically. Then one person told that basically it might possible that in one symbol basically lots of languages basically might be there, and like this basically many basically infinity can be, because we have not seen the real picture, right? We don't know that A basically is there. We basically know that basically symbols basically are there, but the sequence basically that we don't know whether the A basically contains a symbol, or basically the symbols basically of the each and every design basically it can be any design that basically contains the each and every languages, each and every characters. Then basically where actually the planets are basically, that basically only universe group basically know. So we can basically only tell, because this type of thing basically never basically discussed also basically in the basically NASA ISRO also basically they never told that basically A equal to in universe basically there is one design basically. This basically never NASA has discussed, but they had told basically that that uh, the each and every basically the languages basically are connected with the universe. They have told that basically. So literally basically that is supposed to be understood that each and every language basically if it's connected, then basically language means what actually language means actually what. Then he told that language is equal to set of characters basically, nothing else basically. It's then basically he told that basically language is equal to character. Then basically the characters are equal to A to Z. Like this basically things are basically there. So he basically told that basically set of character basically are the languages, and languages basically are equal to set of character, and the character basically contains the each and every set of planets, and planets can be more than 100 basically. So that basically things basically he discussed. And then basically he told that then basically he told that each and every basically the country basically, and which each and every cities basically are connected with their satellites basically, and each and every satellites basically are connected with the each and every city land basically, because each and every city, if they are if the earth planet is moving, then basically you need the control also, no, of the earth planet. So that basically control happens from the satellite basically, otherwise how basically it is going to move. So that's the basically balancing basically. So set of satellite basically do the balancing of each and every earth planet. Each and every means only earth planet basically. There are many basically planets, but we are here talking about the earth planet, nothing else basically. So like this the earth planet basically is moving. So basically we told that also basically that 5 crore people, 5 crore human clone basically are getting generated, and this human clone basically you can say it's creation of the future process basically. Future process means basically you can say the earth planet is going to move that side basically. So when the earth planet is going to move that side basically, then basically earth planet is going to move that side, that means what? Then basically earth planet is required, basically earth planet when it's going to move, then basically you have to set the environment, na. Then the earth planet is going to move, so the earth planet is going to move that side basically required some environment. So that environment basically, that the set of basically uh, energy basically gives, that basically are 5 crore people basically. For that basically one project manager basically got created. He's going to create few presidents, few prime minister, few chief minister, few mlas, few corporators, like this basically they are going to create basically. After creation basically set of project managers here he is going to create. He told that basically you need to create some software company basically that is 100% going to help. So for that basically they told that basically they have to create few software companies. Then basically lots of project managers, project directors, project CEOs, vice president, project managers, software delivery heads, team leaders, then developers, the quality people, then basically the content writer, then basically that quality content writer basically contains the quality team basically. So like this basically entire team basically is so these all are basically the task of the project manager. So the project manager are up to that level basically. So this type of thing basically are also there basically. So like this basically in this basically topic we have discussed up to this level basically. Now basically the next topic is, that is actually how earthquake works basically. That basically we have already discussed, that is the balancing basically you can say. For example, one building is standing, then basically how you can say that this building is standing basically? That means it's standing basically, it's not moving, right? It's not moving, that means it's stable, basically. It's not moving to left side, it's not moving to right side, that means it's a stable basically. Stable means one person basically literally asked the question basically what actually the stable is. Then he told that basically stable means you are basically standing straight position, you are not moving left side right side, that means you are basically stable walking. But building basically can't walk basically, right? Buildings basically can't walk, so they are basically standing at that person, that their location basically. So basically that location is the land location basically. So that land location basically is standing in the land location basically. So it's not moving left side, it's not moving right side. So that is the stable basically location basically. The stable basically is if the building is not moving right side left side, then basically the earthquake is not happening. But if building is moving left side right side, that is very fast, then basically earthquake is basically happening basically. Earthquake basically is happening, and that earthquake happening basically, that means um, that does not mean that basically the earthquake basically is big level earthquake basically is happening. And basically he told that basically earthquake basically are in this many areas only basically the earthquake is happening. So is there any some technique or basically what basically? Then he told that basically the stability basically, for example the energy, one person told that basically why but the stable becomes unstable. That is only the earthquake, no, basically. So up to what level the stability is getting unstable, that much the magnitude basically. If a few people says that basically yeah, around 10 to 20 kilometers basically the earthquake has happened, that means that energy basically which was merged in the city, no, basically, which was sent by the power company, that basically connected to 20 kilometers basically. So that basically stability basically has become unstable to the 20 kilometers area basically. So that basically is the earthquake, and that is the main reason behind the earthquake basically. The power supply basically is the main reason basically, and that is very dangerous. That is basically very dangerous. So few people basically say, few people basically say that basically we got here magnitude of this earthquake basically. So that means basically the in front of the world basically it is what? It's tectonic plates basically. But in real basically how earthquake happens, that's in the low upper of the earth planet basically, where the buildings basically are there basically the environment are settled. If the power company basically sends the environment basically sends the power supply to the city, and then basically that city basically something wrong power supply has happened, that basically never happens, but by chance basically happened, by chance basically happened, then basically the earthquake is 100% going to happen. Assume that basically people basically told that the few basically blood group basically was attacked, then basically that energy basically has already generated, that basically got some disease, that each and everything basically has generated. So that energy basically is captured, and when basically it's sent to the certain cities, then that time basically his basically blood data was basically stored in the particular city, and it was basically giving stable data basically. But when the unstable data basically of that person only basically came, then basically the stable basically replaced with the unstable, and then basically the earthquake basically happened. So that is also basically very dangerous. So basically, here few people basically said that basically which data we should take for the stability basically. Then they told that basically sports group people basically blood groups are basically powerful. Then they told that athletic basically people basically blood groups are very powerful. Then basically few people told that basically the management level people basically blood groups are very powerful. That means each and every blood group basically is required. Then he told that basically, for example, first floor basically which type of blood group is required. Second floor which type of blood group is required. Third floor like this basically how many floors are basically there. Then he told that basically 250 floor basically in India basically 254 is the 250 floor basically is the maximum. So he told that basically till 250 floor basically which type of blood group basically have given the contribution. Can we have that data basically? Then he told that yes, basically we basically are giving the data to the each and every floor basically. So we will basically 100% give you the data. Then the software industry basically told that basically this is the report basically you can take this. So he told that basically in this first floor na basically uh, these all blood groups basically data are taken, but in this data in this blood group basically sports group people basically has taken more data basically few because in you don't know basically you don't know the in first group basically which type of people basically are staying. You can't basically decide that basically in first floor basically only sports people are going to stay, in first floor basically only software people are going to stay, in first floor basically only Bollywood people are going to stay, in first floor only doctors are going to stay, in first floor only legal groups are going to stay, in first floor only um, medical industry is going to stay. That you can't decide it, that you can't decide basically. Few people says that basically we want this type of energy, and that we know that basically when we go to this floor na, that time only we get this type of energy basically. Reason they know basically, that's why they know that basically this type of energy is going to set in this particular floor basically. So according to that they books the particular, especially basically they books this number floor basically we want the building, the not building the floor basically, the flat basically. Yeah, the flat is the best name basically. So he told that basically the 250 floor basically is the maximum floor basically till now basically the India has developed, right? Then he told that basically yes, yeah, 250 is the maximum floor basically. So he told that 250 floor basically data software basically that this is the report basically. From this report basically you can able to easily able to find it basically. Then he told that basically okay, this all our data basically we have used. So do you have the backup plan of each and every data basically? Then he told that basically yes, basically we have basically how many building. It's not only one building, yeah, basically it's not only one building. Na. There are basically lakhs of building basically in this India basically. There are more than 1 lakh buildings basically in the India basically, right? So that each and every building basically required the stability data, na, basically. So one person told that basically in Gujarat state, which type of data basically we have taken. So that depends upon the Gujarat history basically. Karnataka basically which type of data basically we are taken. So that also basically depends upon the Bangalore history, Karnataka history. So these basically data basically are taken according to that basically. One new person came and then basically he told that basically I can give you the energy of this particular floor basically. Like this basically you can't take the data basically. There are lots of data basically which are get experimented. Then only basically the data basically are taken basically. It's not that this person came and told the basically I can give you basically this floor of energy data. Please take it. I will basically my energy is going to be very stable basically. It's not possible basically that type of so basically the nuclear power company and the energy company checks the data each and every time basically, and then basically they takes the decision basically, yes basically this person basically is perfect for these floors basically. So his data basically are literally used for the number of floor, the floor which number basically he has been selected. So in basically the floor basically there can be, it can be the cities, it can be the states basically, but mostly basically uh, one energy basically are used in the one city only basically. It's not repeated basically. Very less basically the repeat data basically gets repeated. If he is basically well-known person basically, if he say that basically well-known Bollywood person or sports person, then basically his data basically are taken in the cities basically. Why? Because he is famous in the people basically knows him basically in the each and every city basically. The people basically don't know anything basically. They don't know anybody. Then basically his data basically are used at the any location basically. If he is well known in one city only, then basically his data is going to be used in one city only. That's a few people says that basically this type of metrics also basically prepared. For example, one person is here in the city basically, then his data basically never gets used in that city. His data is always getting used in the other cities basically. That type of things basically also generate. That basically comes into the matrix basically. That basically comes into the matrix diagram basically you can say matrix diagram basically you can say that means the matrix of earthquake is coming, matrix of earthquake is not coming. So like this basically the one building basically earthquake stability and unstability data is already defined. Like this basically each and every buildings basically are it's there, each and every vehicle's data basically are how basically the vehicle is moving basically, that is also basically it's not moving automatically no? Lots of people says that it is moving. We are basically doing that basically is practice basically. But some energy basically is there basically who is controlling the thing basically. Otherwise, few people says that basically this model vehicle is basically stopped here. Then they one person told that basically, do you know basically I will take one example. Do you know basically the Mars planet is there? Yes, basically Mars planet is there. If you take the Earth planet vehicle in the Mars planet, that vehicle, even the new vehicle basically, it's not going to start basically. Then he told them, why yeah, basically why you are basically insulting the vehicle industry basically, why you are insulting the automobile industry. Then he told that basically the fact is that basically the for example Honda company, for example the Activa company, for example the Suzuki company basically, they basically they basically are connected with the governments, and government basically sets the environment of the each and every vehicles that your vehicle is 100% going to start in this city. That means they basically do something basically, they sets the energy of the each and every vehicle basically, of the each and every vehicles models, if the each and every vehicle, each and every company's vehicles models, they sets the environment here. Then only the vehicle starts. Government basically, you don't know basically who governments are basically. Then one person told like this, literally basically used this word here basically. You don't know basically what government is basically. When you take panga with government, then basically they will tell you basically who government are basically. Literally basically you will know basically what governments are basically. He told that that means the vehicle basically is, if the vehicle basically brand new vehicle, for example Tata Nano basically car basically, that went to the Mars basically, that will never start basically, even basically it's a new brand car basically, then also it's not going to start. Why? Until you don't set the environment of the Tata Nano energy basically in the environment of the Mars planet, that is not going to start. And the environment basically which you are setting, that should be connected with the satellites basically. then only basically that Tata Nano is going to start in the Mars planet basically. Same way the in Earth planet the Tata Nano car is basically working. Same way the Renault Duster basically car is working in the Earth planet. But when you take in the Mars, that time basically it's not going to work. That time basically the Renault Duster company basically have to set the environment in the basically the Mars. Then only basically the car is going to start. That also the environment must be connected with the um, satellite basically. Otherwise, it's not going to start here basically. So this is basically the government here. Literally, government are basically there is no word actually to say basically for government word basically. Then basically the best example, one more best example basically of the government is what actually the government is. One person told that, do you know basically this in science basically there are few formulas basically A equal to B, B equal to C, like that formula basically. I am basically not a science person, so I'm just taking basically E2 equal to B2 like C2 equal to D2, like this basically A equal to B, B equal to C, like this formula basically is there. In books basically the formula is there. Then he told that yes, basically in books basically the formulas are basically there. So if in books basically the formulas are there, that means basically that does not means that the chemical which basically you want basically they told that basically A equal to B, B equal to C, this chemical is going to generate. It's not going to generate basically. According to book, it's not going to generate until basically the A equal to B, B equal to C, C plus government data. The government data is the final data basically. Then the all condition gets satisfied. After that, the government data gets merged with that chemical. Then only basically the 100% works basically. That's why basically the all the lab industry basically of the schools basically takes the time basically that we want the lab to create here, so they takes the time na? Because that why they are taking the time basically, they just need the sign and basically they just can't give, they are setting the environment basically. They basically say that basically which type of class basically you are going to be say, they told that basically 12 science basically 11 science basically. Then they told that BSc science is there basically, MSc science is basically there. So according to that basically they set the environment. According to that, if basically they say that basically 12 sciences there, BSc is there, MSc is there, how basically they are going to connect this basically? Because the lab is very small basically. Then they told that basically they might be using the power supply basically, power supply chain. This power supply chain basically comes when the BSc student is there. This power supply is going to come when the 12 students are there. This power supply is going to come when the MSc student are there. Power supply means activation of the energy basically. When the MSc students are doing the lab basically, that time they are experimenting this formula equal to this formula plus government data, then equal to final formula basically data, final formula, final result basically. So like this basically the things basically happens. This was basically told. So like this basically each and every like same way basically the lab basically you can see same way basically the entire buildings basically are set basically. 250 floors are basically there. Each floor basically set of energies are decided. That energy basically data the our software company has. The software company says that basically according to that basically we have kept the energy basically, we have kept the energy in the safe area basically, that is any area basically, it can be nuclear power company, it can be energy company. So we are basically storing each and every data basically. According to that basically we have the backup plans also basically. According to that basically we have, because you can't say na basically one person basically is healthy, it might possible that he become unhealthy for certain time basically. That time basically you have to find the alternative of that particular person basically. That you if basically few people say that basically it's very difficult to find the alternative, then the Bollywood groups basically do. The Bollywood example basically I have taken na basically, old people basically dies and then basically they get the new face in the current Bollywood industry, and then basically they look like very young basically, and their blood cells basically are very powerful basically. That type of thing basically also basically you can do basically, but that's a Bollywood basically. That's a totally different and very rich industry basically. So they have the money basically. So that's why basically they can do. But every people basically can't do. For example, I will die, who is going to take it? No, basically nobody basically, because I'm if when I went to 5 times 6 and to Mumbai basically, that time also basically I have not got the job, then basically who is going to do? So it's like the according to the personality of the particular person basically. How basically, for example, Shah Rukh Khan, which type of energy basically it might be getting? It's basically very rich energy, na, basically. Mostly basically rich and experimented energy he is getting. Like this same way each and every Bollywood actors basically gets the rich energy basically. So you can't say that basically which person basically is, but the energy company knows that basically this person basically who is basically sitting here, na, he is this person basically. So that energy company basically knows that this person is this. So like this basically same way basically the each and every environment basically are set it according to the energy basically, and the stable energy equal to earthquake is not coming, unstable equal to earthquakes basically are 100% going to come. If unstable basically keeps on repeating, then basically you have to find out the alternative of the energy basically which is getting unstable. So before that basically if before sending the data, if you checks the data, then basically that's good. Otherwise basically for one person basically true that he is always getting he is always bimar here, he is basically unhealthy person, we can't use his data basically. Then basically it will that basically find out some alternative or basically repair that particular blood cells basically, then use basically. Because you can't ignore any of the person, na, basically you can't ignore the person because it might possible that his energy might be the main energy which is connected with the satellites, and due to the satellite power basically he is getting the satellite power, and due to that basically the entire building is getting stable basically. When you remove his data basically, then satellite is not going to connect, satellite is not going to connect. So you can't ignore any of the data basically because you don't know that which energy basically is connected to which satellites basically and which universe basically that is connected. You don't know basically. That's why basically if you know, then basically you will never do that. You will 100% repair that data because you know that this data is very dangerous data. You can't basically remove that data basically. If you will remove the data, then basically big issue is going to happen basically. So according to that basically things are also there. So in next video basically we are going to see little bit more about the earthquake basically and how the earthquakes basically comes in the India. Basically I am in India, so I will take always example of India basically. If I would be in Singapore, then basically I would be taking the example of Singapore. So in next video basically we are going to see what actually the earthquakes are basically and how basically it works and how basically it comes.